Your Honor, one of the provisions of the affidavit of undertaking is for the surrenderer to
So you call them
Stop.
surrenderer.
yes, Your Honor, to undertake to stop all the activities which violate Republic Act 9165, and that the surrenderer is doing this act not just for himself or herself, but for the family, community, and for the betterment of the country, the people.
So there is an implied admission that the subject, the one signing that particular form, is involved or has been involved in illegal activity violative of the law.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's admitted that there is such a portion. That's why we want to see that particular form. Because the next question is, since it's an admission, don't you think that is in the nature of a confession, extrajudicial confession? And therefore, if we're going to be strict about it, the subject has to be assisted by counsel. Is that being done on the ground?
In the format of the affidavit of undertaking, Your Honor, there is a provision for the assistance of an attorney in the
What
affidavit.
particular provision, what exactly does it say? That the subject has the right to be assisted. And of course, since it's a right, it's actually subject to waiver. But as you know, as you very well know, you are law enforcers, there is also a process or a requirement for a waiver to be valid. Correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you study law as police chief superintendent?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
you
Your Honor.
agree?
Yes,
So
Your
is that provided for in that particular form?
In the particular form, since these are considered as voluntary surrenderers, what is provided is the portion where there is an indication that the particular surrenderer is being assisted or was assisted by a counsel or attorney.
Is that really being done on the ground? Are there counsels there? Are there POW lawyers there? Are there private counsels there?
Yes, Your Honor.
We are, of course, talking about those who voluntarily surrendered, correct? Not the tokhang. Or both. What are we talking about?
This is for the voluntary surrenderer, Your Honor.
Voluntary surrender. Because there may be really, and I agree with the Senator, that there may be an admission against interest or a confession without aid of counsel, which would lead to all kinds of legal complications, constitutional complications. So, but although that is not within the ambit of the investigation, that is something that I think the police should consider right away.
Yes.
Yes,
And
Your
then the next point in respect to that is, what if the subject or the subjects concerned refuse to sign the form admitting or acknowledging that they are drug pushers, drug users? So what is the effect of that? Are they now going to be considered as high-value targets?
No, Your Honor. As from the phrase voluntary surrenderer, the PNP personnel on the ground do not force the ones coming to the office of the PNP to sign this affidavit of undertaking. If they do not wish to sign the affidavit, then they are not being forced to sign it.
In any case, we do want to see a sample copy of that particular form for our
Senator Wright,
perusal.
We will submit, Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, as I cleared with you earlier, no, I was going to raise the issue to pursue the point of Senator DELIMA. No? Edwin, Superintendent Roque. Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kanina, itatanong ko sana if you can generate for your committee what constitutes the operational and the administrative. Ngayon may bago kayong dimension, the legal cost. Dati, I was going to limit it to yung namatay sa police operations at saka yung wounded. Ngayon meron pa pala, no? And I realized that yung mga voluntary na nag-surrender. Can you, is it possible for you? Do you have this in your database? Because I think, Mr. Chairman, one policy issue, Senator Lai, no? one policy issue would be the support requirement for this.
Yes.
We cannot discuss this kasi in a vacuum. Especially when you talk of legal procedure. But when you talk of counsel rights, no? This has to be backed up on the ground tangibly. So, Edwin, no? Subukan lang ninyo, best effort. Generate for your committee, for purposes of your permission, of course, Mr. Chairman, the operational, the admin, and the legal cost of those who surrender, those who die, and those who are wounded. Give you an example. I don't know where you input this cost, no? Nagre-reklamo na raw yung mga punerarya. Who underwrites this cost? That has to be carried, no? I don't know if you incorporated it in your budget. Parang ang parallel po nito, Mr. Chairman, is yung retirees security sector budget. Now, can you give us best effort, Edwin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Para maintindihan ng committee, for policy purposes, and this will be incorporated, I suppose, in the comprehensive report by your committee. Para maintindihan natin, let's say namatay, no?
Namatay yung alin?
Namatay yung kwan.
Sumurrender.
Hindi po. Yung in operations, yung patay. Saan dinadala yung bangkay? Pagdala sa punerarya, tapos na ba o may follow-through forensic effort? Pagbuhay at wounded, who underwrites the hospital bills? Mga tao ito, hindi ito presumed innocent. Kahit nasabi mong lumaban, di ba? Yung nag-surrender, ibang usapin na naman yan. Yung rehab. We just want to have a comprehensive view of this.
Yeah.
Para, Mr. Chairman, on the eve of our conclusive budget deliberations, ma-factor in nandito at saka maging proactive tayo. Edwin? Pakilang, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Lai. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
I just have one point. Are you about to finish?
About to finish po.
Sige,
Pwede
go
po.
ahead.
I'm
Just
really
want to-
late already. But the
You've been saying
discussions
that
are
for
very
the last 1
interesting.
hour. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, I also wonder whether there is some kind of a data which can tell us that among those who voluntarily surrendered and refused to execute or sign that supposed form, ilan ho ba sa kanila yung mga napatay? I don't know if you will have that data. Only if you have. Would anybody here have the answer? O kung pwede ho, paki-ano na lang po. Take note of
Tatanungin ko,
that.
I want to make sure that you understand because yan ang tatanungin ko kanina. Bago ko tinanong siya, baka malate na si Senator DELIMA. Nagpapasurrender tayo at medyo that's skirting constitutional violation. Nagpapasurrender kayo, pagtapos ang problema ko dyan, pag may namatay at may mga nabasa ako na ito sumurrender tapos later on, after 3 days or 1 week, namatay siya. That would put you under more scrutiny. Because kumukuha kayo ng mga admissions at pagkatapos later on, madali nyo sabihin, nagtulak uli, lumaban, nabarel, parang tinutulungan ng tao sa sarili nila na para magkaroon ng mark yung mga taong papatayin o mababarel o paplantahan o ano pa. I mean, this goes into all kinds of a very slippery slope. Why are we exposing our police system to that kind of risk? Because you're laying the predicate for a situation that to many in our country, wala naman siguro yan, surrender, buti nga nagsusurrender kung namamatay naman yung nagsusurrender later on, mapagbibinta nga kayo na pinasurrender nyo yan para ma-mark nyo yan. That's unfair to the rank and file, that's unfair to our country, and woe to those who did that, who planned that, because there is now a legal trail that we can go after just in case yan ay nagiging talagang halatang-halata na. Are you getting my point, Police Superintendent Edwin Roque?
Yes, Your Honor.
Chief Superintendent.
Yes, Your Honor.
I would advise you to follow the lead now and give us a copy of all these forms that you are giving to the surrenderers And I would hope that in Tokhang, you're not doing the same thing. Na may pinapipirma kayo doon. Ano ba ang objective ng Tokhang? Hindi na ba kayo nakakapasok? Tatanungin nyo, Tokhang ho kami. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Papasok, anong hinahanap nyo? Nakatira ba dyan si ganito? May balita ho kami, siya ay nakikita kita, Senior Superintendent Almasan, nagkuhan kayo, nagnanad kayo. Does it mean yes? Na nagtatanong kayo, diyan ba nakatira itong nababalitaan namin drug pusher or drug user?
Yes, Your Honor, we try to account for all the reported drug personalities.
So you are really accounting for the possibility na itong mga tao ito ay maaaring drug user. Alam mo kung nasa naroon sila.
Yes, Your Honor, as
In other words,
reported
you're
by
really
the...
asking them to help you arrest them eventually.
No, Your Honor, we would be pleading for them to stop their illegal drug
That's
activity.
one way of looking at it, and I'm glad that you are very imaginative. Because halimbawa, papasok ka doon sa loob, sabihin mo, ikaw ba ito, nandiyan ka, alam namin nandiyan ka,
We are not supposed to enter the
I know,
premises, Your
pero
Honor.
nakikita ko sa TV bumabukas, no?
Yes,
I have nothing, because this is what you call creating the necessary diligence para alam natin kung nasa naroon yung mga tao yan. Pero it borders on violation of constitutional rights and the Bill of Rights. And I draw the line there. All right? I mean, the police must do their job within the limits of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. But like I said, there are 2 points that came out of here. Although it's not part of us, it becomes part of this. Kung yung, I would like you to submit therefore, formally, how many people who surrendered are still died by virtue of an altercation with the police. We have to prevent that. We are all duty bound. I will tell you again and admonish you, lahat ng police magre-retire. Someday you'll also be civilians. You have families also. And I've seen many policemen. Police naman ako dati. Did you hear the case of that guy here? Las Cunas?
Las Cañas.
Las Cañas? Ano sabi niya? Kapatid ko, pinatay ng pulis eh. Kapatid ko, dalawa kapatid ko napatay. Kaya sabi niya, hindi ako close kay Mayor Duterte. Pumasok yung anak ko, hindi rin pinayagan makapasok sa trabaho. Ininsulto pa. So, ganyan rin yan nangyayari dyan. So, I just remind you that may katuturan itong hearings na ito. Maraming pinapasukan ito na dapat nating ma-realize. So, kindly give us a list of all those who surrendered. All 700,000 plus of them. Pero i-call nyo na yung mga namatay. Yung mga namatay. Because I'm sure you put that in a computer. I'm sure you can go and look at where it does sa mga death certificates para malaman yan. I find this a very healthy exercise of democracy. And woe to those who claim that we are not following the rule of law here. And I'm proud of the policemen here who come here and tell us the facts of life about the policeman. How they can get in trouble, na magkikipit sila, including their personal lives na kinukuha ng asawa nila yung kanilang ATM. Talagang kasama yan sa trabaho. Alright?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Then you make sure that ComSec secure that order.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, Mr. Can I just, I don't have a question anymore, but because I really need to leave already. But I just want to put on record, although I will be furnishing the committee a copy. There is here a concluding observations from the Committee on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights of the UN, and part of the report says on the policy towards drug users in our country. This is fairly recent, October 2016. The committee is deeply concerned that declarations made by high-ranking officials in the context of the war on drugs may be seen to encourage and legitimize violence against drug users, including extrajudicial killings. Indeed, the number of extrajudicial killings of drug suspects has drastically increased in recent months, and a large number of people have been arrested and detained in already overcrowded prisons. Poor neighborhoods and individuals have been disproportionately affected in this process. So that's just a portion, and the other portion would be the recommendation. The committee, this is the Committee on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, again, of the United Nations. The committee urges the state to stop and prevent extrajudicial killings and any form of violence against drug users, to promptly and thoroughly investigate all reported cases and punish the perpetrators with sanctions commensurate with the gravity of the crime, and to take all necessary measures to ensure that the fight against drug trafficking does not have a discriminatory impact on the poor and marginalized. I'm just quoting a portion from the report, and I will be glad to furnish the copy, a copy of this to the committee. And thank you, Mr. Chair, for this. I really need to leave already, although I still have a few more questions, but I don't have time anymore. Thank you for this opportunity. Maraming salamat po.
You're welcome.
Sa
The chair
mga
takes notes
taga-PNP.
of the observations about the UN, but I don't need the UN to tell us that we can follow the rules here in this country. I really am umbraged by it, because the UN cannot even enforce rules in terms of international conflict. I just want to ask the Colonel of Metro Manila, Colonel Coronel, in the period January 1, 2016 to the present, how many homicides or how many murders occurred in Metro and Manila in your jurisdiction, if you know?
Mr. Chairman, before Jigs, before you answer, no, para ho comprehensive, Mr. Chairman, yung sagot. Who is representing Ding Marquez? Is Ding Marquez here?
Wala.
Represented
By-
supposed to be by Ross Asio?
He's being represented by Police Chief Superintendent Asio, sir.
Nasaan si Ross?
He just went out for the
Okay.
comfort room, sir.
Jigs, ikaw na muna, no? Anyway, Oka, nandito ka naman, no?
May I admonish my good friend General Senator Honasan, you people from the PMA, you keep calling yourselves by your first names. That is confusing the enemy here. I know that you are
my
conducting
apologies.
Sansu talk. You better address them by their family names and by their rank. Thank you,
Mr.
thank you.
Chairman,
Biro lang yan, biro lang yan.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
as a partial explanation, these are terms of endearment.
All right. Are you all right?
Jigs,
Yes, sir.
pwede ba, no? Dahil we are still on reactive mode. Kung walang issue, doon lang kayo hihinga ng report ng committee. Mr. Chairman, with your permission,
Yes, sir.
can we be more proactive about this? Now,
Yes, sir.
can you look at, lalo na ngayon, no? Nasa bisperas tayo ng budget deliberations.
Yes, sir.
Can you look, Jigs, ha? Everybody, for that matter.
Who is Jigs?
Okay, Jigs is
Please identify yourself.
Yes, sir. Senior Superintendent Coronel, Your Honor.
Napoleon Cornel.
Why did they call you Jigs?
That's my nickname, Your Honor.
I know, but Jigs is what? Jigger? You take
No,
notes,
sir. It's just no, sir. It's just a name given to me when I was a
Okay,
cadet.
Superintendent Cornel,
Yes, sir.
can you look at your information management system?
Yes, Your Honor.
Doon kami hirap na hirap, no? Dahil tuwing hihingi kami ng data, bibigyan kami ng balikbayan box. Okay, we have no way of sorting this out, indexing this, cataloging this. Proactive ito, no? Why? First, mura, cost effective. Second, ang derivative niyan is solid intel. At ang derivative nito, partial derivative, are regular reports. Dapat itong mga tinatanong ng ating chairman, due diligence, no? Sinusubmit na ito sa Committee on Public Order, Committee on Justice. We are left to our own devices. You will be surprised at the number of important legislation that we have passed based on conflicting information. So at least in the public order, security, and justice sector, can you look at this, Jigsa? Yung info
Yes, Your
management
Honor.
system natin,
Yes,
how
Your
far you have gone in terms of computerization, para we can look at this not only from the admin and logistics side, no, personnel management side, but from the perspective of hard intel, current, complete, accurate, timely information that will allow us to discuss and make decisions, rational, intelligent decisions. At ang derivative talaga nito na kailangan ng inyong committee are regular reports. that will make all this, can you submit to us this or that, totally unnecessary. Please do that for us. Salamat po.
We will comply, Your
Thank you,
Honor.
Senator Hernasan. Thank you, Greg. Chief Superintendent, Senior ba, Chief?
Senior
Senior.
Superintendent, Your Honor.
Senior Superintendent Coronel. Ang hirap tawagin ng mga pulis na si Chief Senior Superintendent. But anyway, I asked you about the murder rate, or rather the number of homicides in Manila. Do you have it? From January 1, 2016 to the present.
Yes, Your Honor. For January 1 to 2016, murder for the city of Manila,
I will ask Quezon City as well to prepare that. Is Quezon City here? Prepare that, please. And Caloocan. And Cebu. City. These are cities.
yes, Your Honor. Sir, from January 1 to
2016.
present, yes, sir, to October 2016, the murder rate, the murder incidents for the city of Manila is 48, not counting the DUI, Your Honor.
How many?
48 cases.
48.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can we count the DUI?
The DUI, as reported, is 54, Your Honor.
So plus 54.
Yes, Your Honor.
8 plus 4 is 12.
Yes, sir.
That's 102.
102, Your Honor, 102.
And how big is the population of Manila? Your area of responsibility?
Yes, sir. August 15 census is 1,780,000, Your Honor.
1,780,000.
80,000. Yes, Your Honor.
Quezon City, do you have it already? All right. From January to the present, how many homicides, please?
Murder case to 231, sir.
231. There's a point to this, especially after Senator DELIMA said something about the UN.
Yes, sir. 231 already includes DUI.
Already includes.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
And the population of Quezon City is
3 million, sir.
3 million.
Around 3 million, sir.
3 million. And Cebu City? Cebu?
For Cebu City, sir, we have 70 murder, homicide 11.
7,
70, sir, murder.
7, I asked for about homicides and murder.
Yes, sir.
Total yun na.
81, sir.
81. Yung ba homicides and murders Manila? All
That's
right.
both for murder
Both, all
and
right.
homicide, Your Honor.
81. And the population of Cebu City is? The Cebu City or Cebu Province?
Sir, yung province, sir, ako naman sa murder is 194.
194.
Ang homicide is 28.
28. And that includes already DUI and everything.
Yes, sir. Total.
So you have a total in Cebu of 12, 11, 212. The reason I ask that is a matter of point of information, and you can be very proud of this fact, is because in Chicago, January 1, 2016 to the present, there were 579 homicides in a city of 2.8 million. Against Metro Manila, which is a population of 1 million. Ilan?
For Manila, sir, is 1,700,000.
700,000.
Yes, sir.
2.8 million, you have a total murder and homicide rate of 102.
Yes, Your Honor, to include the
And Cebu Province, you have a total city of 212. So, I'm only saying this because, you know, I'm putting it in perspective. Here is UN trying to tell us everything, but they don't look at their own backyards. The grass in third world countries is always bleaker when it comes to some of these first world countries. So please tell the president, stop making noise, because we're showing off the other countries in terms of peace and order. So I'm really giving you a compliment that kahit na ano sabihin nyo, kahit na may sinasabi pang ganyan, kahit na mas mataas pa yung rating nyo, yung sa kinalap naming ebidensya rito, Mas marami kayong namamatay, lumalabas pa. Sa Chicago, one city in America, they have more murders and homicides. So, but still, that doesn't, I'm only saying that to make you feel good, because I think you should feel good, you're doing a good job, and provided you stay within the law. Because one murder beyond the law is still murder. And especially it becomes worse when it is perpetrated by policemen, like in the case of Mindoro, yung sinabi ni Senator Lacson. And just to let you know, para malaman ng mga Pilipino rin, eto, ang nangyayari dito, ang humuli doon sa Mindoro, pulis rin. Ang pumatay, pulis, pero ang humuli, pulis rin. So, in that instance, I commend the police. In many instances, I commend the police in terms of record for record. Before we get swallowed in by the whole world in their righteousness, muna, hindi naman ganun kasama ang record namin. Pero again, with the caveat, thou shalt not kill. You have families, you're about to retire, some of you are about to retire, ganun rin. And what your job is as civilians, as policemen, is to make sure you take a bite out of crime. Hindi makaporma ang mga kriminal. Hindi yung papatayin natin sila. Kaya ang tanong ko kanina doon, saan ba nagagaling ang droga? Isara natin ang gripo. Ang tanong ko doon sa kabila, gano'n rin. Yung mga instances na dapat natin malaman para mapigilan natin at mawasan natin. Dapat marami tayong police-community relations para matuturuan tayo like we did in our own community, barangay anti-narcotics group, sila nasasabi, bago lumaganap ang krimen, bago lumaganap ang drugs, sasawatan na. So that is what I would like to say here, unless my two colleagues have...
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I want to correct for the record. No? Kanina kausap kita, Edwin, no? And Ross, I said, nagre-reklamo yung mga punerarya. Somebody texted me, para kumpleto yung database natin. I will not mention the sender. Sabi, hindi po nagre-reklamo yung mga punerarya. Masaya sila. In fact, kumikita pa sila dahil nagbibigay ng komisyon sa pulis. Kung hindi maklaim ang bangkay, binibenta sa medical schools. Pag may nag-claim, kita pa rin sila. Of course, meron dito, hehehe, but I will not put that on record anymore. Para kompleto yung database niyo. Something for you to look at. So I'm putting that on record, Mr. Chairman.
Fine.
Kaya ako nagtatawanan kami ni Senate Vice Chair Lacson kanina. We wanted to share that joke, but you're
Yeah, I just want to ask one more question. Sinabi ng presidente natin, there are 2 policemen that die every day. Is that correct? Since July. Yes, Albayalde.
In
In
NCRPO, sir, we have already four killed in action policemen since July 1 to date. Sir.
4 killed.
And
So
we
hindi totoo yun, mamatay 2.
I don't know with the other region, sir. And we have 8 wounded.
NCR lang.
Already,
Sa inyong region, Eric Noble, sa inyo? 1 dead, 1 wounded. That's still 1 too many, di ba? Yun ang sinasabi ko eh. Sometimes we tend to throw statistics and numbers. We don't have to. You know, if you're killed in the line of duty, that is very noble. Hindi ba, Superintendent Noble? Noble? I'm sorry. Okay. And of course, sa Bulacan?
Sir, for Bulacan PPO, at present, sir, I have 4 wounded PNP personnel during our legitimate operation. Actually, this morning I have wounded personnel and that needs an operation because he was shot by a suspected drug pusher in Mikawayan, Bulacan just this morning, sir.
They were shot by a convicted drug pusher.
No, sir. Suspected, sir. My policemen...
He was waylaid.
No, sir. Our policemen were supposed to verify a report that there is ongoing drug transaction, but upon arrival on the area, they were immediately shot by 4 unidentified suspects.
Well, do you think therefore that the president should really tone down because naghahanda yung mga drug pusher. Paglapit niyo, babarilin na kayo kagad. Yan ang isang sinasabi ko eh. O mas maganda, siguro, mas maganda, huwag na tayong magsalita para alam naman na ninyo na seryoso talaga, and I believe him. Seryoso ang presidente, di ba? Kaya sumusunod kayo eh. Sinasabi niya, backup niya kayo. Tama yon. Ako, binabackup ko rin yung mga pulis. Pero tama na siguro yun, dahil alam na ng lahat yan. Para yung mga drug pusher, hindi naman kayo babirilin na nasa likod, babarilin na kayo, aabangan kayo. And that's one of the side effects na sinasabi ko. That's why I think that, ito katulad yan, the side effect, bumabanat yung UN sa kanya. Hindi naman dapat banatan na yung mga pronouncements raw ay bumabalik sa kanya. Eh, sabi ko nga, huwag na natin lagarin ang ating sariling paa. I think you guys, kahit paano, the way I'm looking at it, at least from the policemen that we brought in here, looks like you guys are doing your job. The crime rate compared to Chicago and to Manila and to Quezon City, which is bigger than Chicago, is lower in terms of murders and homicides. I think that can be told. I hope I'm not simplifying things. But again, I have to hasten to say, pag may pumapatay na pulis, makakasira sa ating pakay. At nakita naman ninyo, I think the rule of law is also happening here. Kami, alisto kami dyan, yung tokhang, ingatan nyo yan, at saka yung sinagsusurrender sa inyo, dapat hindi mamamatayan, sabagat natural lang pagbintangan kayo pag namatayan, unless talagang encounter. So, I suppose, tama ba yung conclusion na dapat huminahon tayo ng konti at the message has already been made, and para siguro na tuloy-tuloy na at yung sinasabi namin ni Senator Honasan kanina na dapat ipapublish talaga, at I don't know, nakalimutan natin ni Senator Honasan, I will let him say it. There is a provision that all franchises of public stations, public radio and TV stations, and I will let Senator Honasan say it. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On this score, no, I address this to all of you, gentlemen. No? You must inventory, no, the tools at your disposal. One, I discussed it with the chairman and very often with Senator Lacson. No? Yung NTC required yung broadcast media 30 hours a month. That's 1 hour a day for public information. Baka, Mr. Chairman, ito yung moderating influence. We cannot change we cannot ask the president to reinvent himself. We can only offer unsolicited advice. Pero at your level, one moderating influence would be to harness this 30 hours a month, broadcast, radio and TV, para makapag-announce kayo. Okay, let me relate it to drugs. Yung supply reduction, na ma-manage natin yan, no? We can look at it more systematically. Yung demand reduction, babalik at babalik tayo rin sa public information system. Baka pwede niyong i-explore yun. Para kahit na passionate yung ating Pangulo, dun sa baba, meron kayong seryoso na public information program para nalalaman ng kabataan, ng bawat pamilya. You know, this problem has already entered our homes, our schools, our places of work, our places of worship. Talagang malala na. We never thought it was this bad. The question is not, what did you do or not do? The question is, did we do enough? Kaya, just consider this, gentlemen, para you can consolidate our efforts here. Thank you.
Okay, the statements made by the chair as admonitions because we want a better country, and I know the president wants a better country. But we are not going to be silently by kung merong mga katiwalian na gaganap, whoever does it. And let me assure everyone here, I would like to entertain a motion here if you want to wrap up the... I think we have enough to report. Senator Lacson, what do you think?
Yes, I move to terminate the hearings on EJK so we can already render a committee report on the floor, Mr. Chairman.
Second, but I would like to have a caveat here. Our friend, the chairman of the Commission on Human Rights, has been staying here kanina pa, and I'd like to recognize him I'm not going to ask him to apologize for his commission because he's not the one who said it. But I just want to assure you, Mr. Chairman, that all the affidavits you submitted here. We will turn over to the police for proper enforcement, and that we will make sure that as part of our report, lalabas yan. We did not ignore anybody here. It's just, I'm just so sorry that that guy is a loose cannon of sorts. And go ahead, if you may want to make a statement now under more harmonious conditions, you can do so. I just didn't like the idea that some representation was trying to bamboozle us by forcing us to recognize a travesty, not to recognize a travesty upon the Senate. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honors, the Honorable Chairman and members of the two committees. We are grateful for this opportunity to address you this afternoon. We do wish to express that the Commission on Human Rights is always ready and prepared to assist the Senate committees in the work, the great work it's doing of ferreting out the truth on this issue, on extrajudicial killings, as well as on all other issues involving human rights. We as a Commission on Human Rights acknowledge and work closely with the Senate in previous times, at the present, and in the future on all matters that will involve the best interest of our people in the area of human rights. We do want to say that we respect the Honorable Chairman of the committee, Senator Dick Gordon, as well as all the other members of this committee, and are confident that as this process is terminating, it will shed light on this matter, even as we continue to pursue truth and justice in other fora. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. We were not looking for a pat in the back, but thanks anyway. We just want you to know that we're going to be fair. We are stalwarts in our efforts to try and provide human rights. Not provide because that is guaranteed, but to make sure that human rights is enforced. And I hope the policemen are all listening to the words of the Senate here, the message that we're trying to bring in here, that especially the law enforcement authorities, you have been imbued with certain privileges such as carrying a firearm, enforcing the law, which is a great privilege of trust. And therefore, with that privilege comes the responsibility that you must acquit yourselves before this country and your families, that you will implement it, in the proper way, in a way that respects life, the preciousness of life, and the effectivity of law without fear or favor. And that is all that is expected. And this is something that I think we all should really try and make an effort on, to try and not just show the whole world, but show ourselves, show our children that we are capable of running a democracy that where when we see wrong, we will try to right it. And we will not be fearful to say the things that we have to say, no matter who we say it against, because in democracy, there's democratic space to talk about it, to talk about the problems and solve problems. Sa wikang Pilipino po, para maintindihan ng lahat na nakikinig, narinig po natin ang magiting na Chairman ng Commission on Human Rights, hindi po dahil siya ay kasama namin sa pamantasan ng Pilipinas, ngunit lahat po kami naiintindihan namin ang katungkulan natin bilang mga halal o talagang mga kawani ng gobyerno, pati mga kapulisan dito. At ang commitment po natin dito, sagrado, na talagang maipairal yung talagang karampatan pantao, yung respeto sa tao, yung dignidad ng tao, at kinokondena natin ang pagpatay ng tao na hindi talaga mapapaliwanagan ng maayos at lahat. Gusto ko lang pong paabot ang aking lubos na pasasalamat sa mga kapulisan. Nakita po natin dito na dumating lahat dito. Pinatawag po natin lahat ang mga pulis dito ng iba't ibang distrito ng ating bayan. At ito is advice ng ating mga kasama dito sa committee ng public order at saka ng justice at saka ng human rights. At dumalo sila lahat dito, nangangulugan, walang tinatago at sumagot sila sa lahat ng tanong. At hihilingin ko pa, isang hirit po, ibigay nyo sa amin yung statistics niyo, sapagkat masanay na po kayo katulad na sinabi ni Commissioner, ni Chairman Honasan, chairman ng Committee on National Defense, na dapat ayusin nyo yung impormasyon. We are living in an information revolution. Tapos na yung revolution, umiira pa na mas mataas ngayon. Dapat nakukuha natin lahat ang statistika ng mga namamatay, ng mga nanakawan at lahat para handa tayo sumagot kaagad sa katungunan. The Chair would like to pay particular attention to some of the interventions here by some police officers, particularly the one in Metro Manila, and practically all, Bulacan, Quezon City. That really represents a high degree of professionalism na walang patumpik-tumpik sumasagot sa mga tinatanong natin at meron kayong handang statistics. The very fact na mataas pa nga ang lumalabas sa inyo kaysa nakalap ng mga staff ko sa committee, at papasalamatan ko rin yung miyembro ko sa committee, yung mga tao namin sa committee at yung mga tumutulong sa akin na nakakalap, nagpapatunay na walang tinatago tayo. Makukuha natin ang mga statistika ng patayan at lahat, at ang mangyayari na lang ngayon ay humanap tayo ng mga solusyon para matanggalin natin ang pagkakataon na pag-abuso ng mga kriminal sa ating mga batas, whether they're in uniform or in not. Pare-pareho yan. Pagka gumawa kayo ng kamalian, you are a criminal. You violate the law, violate the rights of the people. So having said all that, Mr. Chairman Lacson and Senator Nasan and all the police chiefs present here, the NBI, Director General of the PIDEA, representatives of the Committee on Justice, the NBI are here. It's been a roller coaster ride, but I assure you, we are going to come out with a report. And take heed of that report, because we all have to learn something from it. And it will be a sustainable report, because I can tell you part of it will mean we get reports, at least whoever succeeds me in this committee or in the House, we must now get copies of the reports of murders and homicides regularly, and it can be published as suggested by Senator Honasan in the 1 hour a day program allotted to public service by all media. At we will also strengthen the capability of the police force and find out, as Senator Honasan rightly said, it is budget time. Perhaps we can provide at least the beginnings of body cameras to be worn by special units of the police force when they operate. Or for that matter, other suggestions that are going to be made and will be made during the discussions. And hopefully, I will really try to get it done by Monday, that you'll have a report right away on Monday, so that the public will be assuaged that we are all watching for each other here. May not be perfect, but we will try. So, ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat po, Senator Honasan.
I would just like to clarify my motion earlier, Mr. Chairman. My motion covers only the hearings on the resolution of Senator DELIMA and Senator Trillanes on the EJK killings.
Yes.
But I move to suspend the hearings on the death penalty bills as referred to the Committee on Justice.
Definitely. That is the motion was clear to me, and I know that the clarification is aptly made. We're not suspending the provision. In part, like I said earlier, I may be against the death penalty, but kung ito ay makakapagpatigil ng patayan na ginaganap ng mga iba dyan para madali sila sa pamaraan ng paggogobyerno, I am not going to go against it. I will not vote for it, but I will not go against it. Somebody will have to do it for them. But anyway, hindi titigil yan. Tutuloy natin yan yung sa Committee on the Death Penalty. Although that has been referred also to the Committee of Senator Dillon. The referral to us was death penalty due to drug offenses. So, having said that caveat, maybe we can even ask Senator Dillon, the chairman of the Committee on Rules, to join us for the discussions on the death penalty. I hope we were able to tackle sufficiently the issues. Like I said, ang pinag-uusapan dito ay in aid of legislation, and the Commission on Human Rights, particularly the chairman, can make suggestions. We will consider it formally in writing if you like, and the police can do so. try to do it as soon as possible. I will entertain a motion to suspend release of the report if you have, allow me that if it is humanly impossible to come out with the entire report for a few days extension, just to be sure. But my intention is to try and get it out by Monday. So, maraming salamat sa inyo and sa inyong malasakit, sa inyong mga kagitingan at sana patuloy nyo linisin ang ating kapulisan. Merong ilan lang nakakasira dyan at sana patuloy tayong basbasan ng ating Panginoon Diyos. God bless the Philippines. Thank you very much. Session, George. Nakalimutan ko na. Wala, pare. Wala ako eh. Okay, pa-order naman tayo. O, iwanan nyo ulit para magagalit ako, ha?